talk about it a little bit as the bands come in. What exactly had Mineski, still at the middle of the table, but not quite performing as SF5-2? Both of them were matching there. What do you think Mineski will really be looking to do going up against the very top of the table?
Well, the thing is, they have a lot of case studies to look at for Unfat Ultimate, and the thing about them as well is that they're currently sitting at 4-0-1.
Yeah.
So they're not 5-0-0 in that sense.
Sure.
They have lost a series to SF5 prior to this.
Yeah.
So they definitely would be going back and taking a review at the boards and saying, they have certain weaknesses that we can exploit. The thing about Unfat Ultimate overall as a team, I feel though, is that they're a team that are not too flashy. They're a team that they're there, they play the game well, they know what to do, and they just get the job done. They're not like here to groom superstars or like a one-time legend, that sort of player, that sort of thing, right?
Sure.
So in that sense, Unfat Ultimate overall as a team, I feel one of the more solid teams to join the GPL Spring Split.
That's
so
right.
In that sense, Mineski, they need to really sieve out what little weaknesses that Unfat Ultimate has and then exploit those. And the thing about Mineski as well is that even though they were one of the teams to sort of falter in the late 2014 season, in 2015 they are looking slightly better, just like you mentioned.
Sure.
And they have taken 2 games off of Psycho Fantastic 5 as well. So in that sense, they do have the capabilities of playing against the big boys. So we'll just have to see what they are going to pull out against Unfat Ultimate in the 5.1 patch as well. So maybe, the patch differences and the little changes to the champion mechanics could give them the edge that they need in order to really give Unfat Ultimate a difficult time.
Yeah, this is very interesting. The bans coming up from Mineski, I must say, extremely on point. Lissandra, Rumble, and Janna, very, very big champions across the board, but especially so for both Ness and Lucifer. Rumble and Lissandra are their top play champions so far in the GPL circuit. Janna also a big, big one for tier. And those are just spot-on bans so far. Interesting that Unfat Ultimate would go for the first pick, Sejuani. Tarzan, we said very, very, or rather, I have pointed out before that he is very, very comfortable in the jungle. That objective focus. I mean, you pointed out that this isn't a team where there's one member that really, really stands out with, superior mechanical play. But overall, I feel that Tarzan is the one. I'm not too sure if he's the shot caller or not, but Ultimate as a team, laser focus on objectives, really, really sets them apart from their GPL counterparts. I think it's something that the GPL teams have always seemed to lag behind a little bit. Ultimate do seem to be a step up ahead, and Sejuani will be able to give them that strong presence in team fights. However, big picks coming in on the side of Mineski Globe as well. I mean, Jarvan, we talked about that as well. He's a huge pick in the jungle as well. I would say more than capable of matching Tarzan Sejuani. I think it will come down to, who hits the gank first and if there's a counter gank from the other.
Yep, that's right. And Ultimate here looking for their AD carry as well. Will they go with the Ezreal? B1 did bring out a couple of Ezreal games, and he's kind of showing that he's one of those guys that kind of favor the Trinity Force AD carries as well, and has been playing a couple of solid games here and will lock that Ezreal in as well. So in that sense, the current game plan for Unfat Ultimate is to to stay away from Mineski, because they know for a fact they're going up against the Maokai and that Jarvan as well. They need to stay out of range, out of sight, in order to have the most effective damage output, and having Sejuani to just kind of buy time while they charge up their spells and stuff like that is going to be a great strategy. But Mineski though, I think you made a lot of sense there by saying that they are going with the flavor of the month, the Maokai pick, of course, with Jarvan as well. So a lot of impact's going to come in the early stages. And let's see what EXO is going to go with. I'm kind of hit or miss on that, Vayne pick a little bit.
I definitely agree with you that the records show that his Vayne play has only been seen once in the past, 8 games that's been brought out. 10 games, excuse me. So EXO still looking to roll the dice a little bit here, you have to feel. And Noel going to be supporting him on that very aggressive support of Leona. Looks like Mineski are picking a lot of engage right here from all their members.
Yep.
And the damage will be coming in from the likes of the hyper carry of Vayne. Unfat Ultimate themselves seem to be stacking their cards rather safely, with the likes of a lot of poke coming in, centered around a strong front line of Tarzan Sejuani. But with their last 2 picks, they might just turn all that on its head. Maybe pick up a little bit more engage on their own end with the likes of Thresh. And, Kassadin, I mean, we talked about that champion a little bit before by the likes of, Frosty, who really loves to play that. Lucifer himself, just taking a look at some of the numbers right here.
He's a more, like, mage.
Yeah, not so much. Not so much. Yeah.
So, It's good that he has fallen back to Xerath once again. He's one of those guys to continually play that mage-like champions.
Oh,
Like
sorry, that would be for the top lane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that would have been a top lane Kassadin. Sorry.
That's right. So, I mean, Lucifer just going back to his old favorite.
Yeah.
But Ness locking in
Man.
the rhythm, though.
Now this is
huge.
something interesting because we talk about, you know, the players on the side of Ultimate not really having a standout player mechanically or very hyper carry in that sense. Ness actually is one of the more carry-orientated players on in the GPL.
On his first Riven game.
Yeah, first Riven game, he really did a good job carrying some games on the Rumble, which was banned out from him. So it looks like the team, I don't want to say has tunneled on that a little bit, but it looks like they are still looking to channel a bit of that Ness carry potential with the likes of a Riven. I have to say, I have not seen a competitive Riven versus Maokai matchup yet across all the regions. I've not seen that.
Yeah, we have seen a couple of
in fact,
Riven played in the jungle, if you watch the LPL. Yeah,
okay.
I believe it is Spirit that was the one playing it in World Elite. But not so much in the top lane, though. And they do sort of open up a very interesting mechanic.
No, don't tell me it's a false pick. No, that would break my heart.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see as we get updates for that. But right now, the players are back in the lobby for now. So we'll get to you as soon as we know the updates. And let's talk a little bit more about the history of these two teams.
Sure.
Because Phat Ultimate exiting the group stages 4-0-1. One of the newcomers to join the Garena Premier League Spring Split as well. And having just a very good result for themselves at the start. And Mineski trying to keep up with that. Now facing the top of the table. And remember, guys, if they drop any game whatsoever, they would be out of the GPL Spring Split 2015.
That's right. So I think that talking about a breakout performance, or rather the breakout team if you want, you know, maybe MV, you know, most valuable team to kind of make it into the GPL, because if you think back on the history of the GPL, teams that have broken onto the scene, as far as memory serves me, haven't really had the best record so far. I'm thinking even the likes of the Yowie Flash Wolves, you know, who themselves are doing quite well in IEM. I mean, they were touted as the new kids from, you know, Taiwan, a really strong region, but they actually didn't do very well. This time it seems like Vietnam, a little bit hit or miss with the new teams they're bringing on, right? We have the likes of Ultimate that are doing fantastically for themselves. Infinite, which we just saw, still, you know, not looking on the level of some of the other GPL teams.
Well, I mean, in the long run of the rat race, sometimes that's going to happen. You got to have this distinction of the stronger teams and the weaker one as well. And with the group stages being randomly drawn, sometimes we are just going to be faced with this sort of situation. And that said, though, I think Group A, sorry, not Group A, for this one is Group B. You do have the top of the table, seen in Phat Ultimate, the bottom, seen in Team Infinite. But then again, Mineski as well as SF5, they do have pretty interesting matches. And if you do miss those, go over to gpl.garena.com. You will be able to, you know, catch up on the weeks of VODs that you might have missed. And
that's right.
You know, the progression up to today, how it has all played out by itself. And I was just told that Mineski earlier had a bit of connection issues. So
so it's still going to be the Riven. Yes.
Yeah. So
I love this.
So the thing about Mineski is that they had a bit of connection issues. They had to re-log in and, you know, clear out the data a little bit. I mean, sometimes it happens. That this is esports and that's one of the problems. And wow, looks like that was the Jace for Mineski there. So
okay, I think that slipped past our attention when we were so caught up on the Riven. But definitely Jace being picked up by Yume here. I have to say that this is rather interesting coming in from Mineski Globe, because they've picked a lot of engage on their side.
Yep.
Jace will help with his acceleration gate, and it's a bit of you know, insurance in case they get pushed back to towers. They have safer wave clear. They have a little bit of, I guess, siege potential. If they knock a few people low, then it's like, all right, you know, half HP, we can dive safer. As for the record, he has played Jace twice before. Favors the likes of, you know, Twisted Fate in the past, something that not very common among his counterparts in the GPL. So used to playing from range, used to contributing off screen. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, the thing about Yume as well, if you look at him overall as a player, is that he likes to play high mobility mid laners. As compared to Lucifer, who is more mage orientated. He likes to bring in stuff like Orianna, Xerath, even Ziggs, stuff like that.
Sure.
He's one of the remaining few players, I believe, to still play mages, even in the assassin-heavy meta that we are seeing right now. And then for Yume here, he's one of those guys that like to get a lot of speed. That's why you start to see stuff like you mentioned, you know, the LeBlanc, the Twisted Fate, Sometimes we do see Fizz, and of course Jace is also one of those guys that can go in and out of a fight very, very quickly using the acceleration gate.
Sure.
And the thing why I like Mineski's composition right now is that they have a very clear game plan. What they want to do is to throw everything on Unfat Ultimate, the acceleration shock blast, and then you know, just get Maokai, Jarvan, and Leona all diving into you. Create a huge zone.
Yeah.
You know, you got Maokai's ultimate, you got the Cataclysm as well, and then of course Leona is going to be there to, you know, chain CC down, and
that's
then
right.
The Jace is going to help out with the mobility to go into fight as well, and then just leave Vayne in the background.
Yeah.
So we have to watch out for Exo's positioning in this game. If he can find a slip in the cracks onto you know, Unfat Ultimate's armor right here, he would be able to do a lot of damage with the Vayne pick.
Yep.
So that's how I kind of want to sum up Mineski's composition.
Sure.
Unfat Ultimate though, their team composition does provide a pretty interesting mix to the team fighting mechanics here. Because if you look at it, they do have the Sejuani. You know, we all know how Sejuani can be when she goes full tank. She can just sit there all day, soak up all the damage, soak up all the ultimates, and then let your teammate capitalize off of that. And of course, they do have the thresh for disengage, for pick.
That's right.
And having the box there to slow things down a little bit as well. And
I
then
think
they do have the...
Something else to point out is the fact that Team Ultimate, they have the ability to pick off targets very, very well. You know, they have ways to engage that. You know, Riven actually is a huge, I think competitively, played very, very differently from solo queue. A lot of times you just see, you know, flash engage from Riven because you draw a lot of focus to yourself. You get a lot of the CC coming in. And if you look on Mineski Globe, you really have two targets you just need to lock down. Jace and Vayne. If you take those two out, pretty much you win because there's no more damage coming out from the side of Mineski. So they've really got two threats. I mean, unless Kool-Aid goes very, very, you know, aggressive with his build, but that's not something that is seen in the competitive scene, you know, whatsoever. So I think Ultimate, I do like this Riven pick in the sense that it could be that surprise jump where it's like you have two threats. Even if you take out Riven, right, you expend all your cooldowns on me, you still got to deal with the Tarzan, you know, Sejuani in your face. And then Lucifer and B1 are just going to be wrecking havoc as well.
That's right. And if you think about it, like what you mentioned, if they do take out Yume as well as EXO, TG, Khalid, and Noel, they're just going to be throwing wet noodles at you and not dealing any
I mean, we saw that in the Team Infinite game, right? Where it's like, Sion's just like, who's Sion?
Like
He's just this guy in the background, you know?
A bowl of wet noodles just like...
Yeah, it's like...
You will feel irritated, but you won't be threatened at all.
But if the noodles resurrected, would you be like, what is going on?
I would not want to see my bowl of noodles resurrect.
Like, not at all, man.
No way,
Get away from me right now.
I just want to, you know, get the bowl of noodles and then finish it. And
plus, the bowl of noodles actually lifesteals. It's pretty creepy.
Oh, wow.
that's not your regular that's not your regular
Sounds like
Maggie,
a horror
man.
movie altogether, right? The attack.
The B grade, the C grade maybe. I'm not even D grade maybe, guys. All right, not a recommended film from Chris or Flavors whatsoever.
See any wet noodle film? Started right here.
But I think definitely we're going to be looking at some very interesting team fights because it is just a matter of the fact that there's, you know, three threats on the side, you know, three carries if you want on the side of Team Ultimate. If they ever trade, you know, one of those for the two threat carry composition on the side of Mineski, it's basically just a numbers game from there. You have more carries alive. I do think that the team fights will swing their way.
Yeah, and I wanted to kind of add on what the Unfat Ultimate's their team composition bring to the table as well. But before I talk about that, there's this game that me and Jay Storm like to play. It's called Guess the Players. And it just there you go.
All right, go.
Mineski. No, I'm supposed to ask you. Like,
wow.
Who do you think the second player is?
TG.
From the left.
TG.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Right? He's got that TG look.
The TG look.
As in, I've seen him in videos before, man. Like,
okay, fair enough.
Like the highlight or like the showcases, you know.
Yeah. I mean, he was there at Season 3 Worlds.
That's right. That's right. I think him, Kool-Aid, and
him, EXO.
No, EXO and man, Yume. I'm quite sure.
Yeah. Yume. Yeah,
quite
Yume
sure.
Was the one. So
that's right.
A couple of new players brought on board, Khalid as well as Noel. Doing pretty well so far in the current split. I mean, middle of the table, but definitely a much better performance than they were at the end of last split. So not too bad for themselves. And of course, coming back into game right now, it is going to be Unfat Ultimate taking on Mineski Globe in a best of 2 series. And of course, Unfat Ultimate right now, like I was saying, they do bring a very interesting perspective when it comes to the team fights. You know, Sejuani just soaking up damage up front, Thresh with the disruption, and then they do have Seraph as well as Ezreal, who's just going to be able to land tons of damage at a very long range. And I
Yeah.
think that's ideally what they want. And if you look at Ness right now, he is playing Riven and going with the teleport as most top laners would do so now.
That's right.
Yeah, so not going for the overly aggressive Riven where you start with the Ignite and try to pick off a solo kill off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean,
just
in the competitive scene, pretty much top lane is you gotta take the teleport.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it works extremely well for Unfat Ultimate though, because I think like what you pointed out earlier is that they have very strong objective control.
Yeah.
Which means
Yeah.
that they will be able to place deeper wards than usual. And so using that teleport, you can anticipate some flank attacks from Riven as well.
I think that's definitely going to be the highlight reel, if any. Just given the fact that this is the first ever Riven we've seen in the GPL. I want to correct myself on the Rek'Sai play. It was played actually by Tarzan previously, but his score was only 1-3 and, well, only 1-3 and 16. Still a good score.
Only 1-3 and 16.
Yeah, it wasn't an 18.5 minute, you know, closing out of a game. Still was a good showing, but I think definitely SF5, Yushin and Tarzan both making a name for themselves by bringing out that champion. Now, let's see if Ness can make a name for himself, because this Riven, I'm absolutely certain, has not been seen in the 2015 GPL Spring season.
Yeah, that's right. And I like the way you just call it like, you know, only 1-3 and 16. It's
Yeah,
almost
it's like, man.
going to a branded watch shop and say, you know, how much is that watch? And then the guy tells you like, well, it's only $50,000. So
it's only below your pay grade. And then he just turns away, all arrogant like. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I think definitely to give credit where it's due, even though this game hasn't even really kicked off just yet. Tarzan has racked up double-digit assists multiple times in the previous game, so he is really a very solid jungler. Again, a lot of weight on his shoulders. Excuse me, due to the fact that Sejuani was first picked over everything that was available. First pick Sejuani.
You gotta get the ball in the fight, man.
Oh, they get the ward actually. So
10 goal advantage.
yeah, man.
Work.
That's early game down pat
Oh,
for.
two
Oh
wards!
man, that's huge, bro.
Man.
That's
Mineski,
looking
big
grim
plays.
for Team Ultimate right now.
Yeah, 2 ward advantage. 20 goals.
30 seconds.
Ooh, nice strategy from Mineski though, placing down that deep ward. So a bit of guessing play coming through from both teams now. I think Mineski, they know for a fact that Vayne is a pretty weak laner.
Yeah.
So they just want to get the best, the optimal setup for EXO to farm in and to make sure that he can exit the laning phase as comfortably as possible so that he will be a big playmaker in the mid to late game stage.
Yeah, he absolutely. I mean, so much. Lucifer.
I love that.
What is he actually doing though? Like,
there's something on his head. Like, there's a fly on my head.
get that away.
Every time I see that on screen, it's just it just makes me smile.
No, it's great. I have lost games due to that. I've been fixated on the Seraph.
It's either he's combing his hair or there's something
What
desperately.
hair does he have?
Hey,
Turbo
you never know,
analysis,
man.
bro. Oh, first poke coming in. Lucifer showing that he can joke around and play serious at the same time. But we'll have to see. Again, I think it is a very nice move from Mineski to get the lane set up for EXO just right. Because, as we were saying, really when it comes down to damage, it's going to be Yume and EXO. I mean, and let's not take away from, or let's rather point out that Yume on Jace as well, even though he's not like a mage in the terms of the AP carry role, Jace still works around his cooldowns fairly heavily. So consistent damage, if they can take out EXO, or if EXO gets a rough start, man, I mean, that's going to be bad news for them. And look at this, they actually haven't been able to escape the lane situation. Or they chose to go into it. This is rather interesting.
Very weird as well because Noel chose to double jungle.
This makes no sense.
Yeah. It's the I desperately need a win strat, I guess. Well, double jungle, double success, I guess. With Noel at level 2 as well. They are gonna try to move up into the top lane though. Not spotted by Ness.
Oh, Ness should know something's up. Oh no.
Oh
man.
The lane's coming down. Are they gonna go for it? The
wow,
flash comes
okay.
down, so what just happened there, I believe, is a cheese strategy for Ness. Getting that level 2, trying to set the tone out of the top lane to bring Ness down, did not work out. A little bit of a coordination, miscalling from Mineski. But I was pretty sure that was their game plan, right? Go to the top lane, get that level 2, bring Ness down, make sure that the Riven is crippled for a while, and then let TG just do his own thing.
Yeah, but what was the point of the deep ward at level 1 then? I mean, It's just very strange because you look at the CS score, 19-9. I mean, Leona is going to come back to lane, thankfully, at level 2 still. So, I mean, it's not going to be a huge discrepancy. EXO will be able to pick up a decent amount of farm, you know, under the tower right here. But, yeah, I guess a big gamble right there that just didn't pay off. Ness does escape. 16-7 in terms of CS against the Maokai will mean that if they were expecting, you know, the Ness aggression to be the early game plan for Team Ultimate, sure, they've deflected that. It just seemed to not quite sync with their level 1 warding.
And Tarzan is well getting the Rift Scuttler extra vision around the objective area.
Yeah.
And in the mid lane as well, you know, if you look at Yume as well as Lucifer doing pretty evenly so far, even though it's Lucifer now actually poking Yume down for a little bit. Khalid's gonna come back into lane. Khalid's gonna come back into lane, but gonna get spot out by the ward though from Tyr, so
Alright.
much of a gank pressure so far.
Yeah, and it seems that the lane has stabilized somewhat for EXO, climbing his way towards closing that gold gap. But of course, there's a big wave pushing towards both B1 and Tyr, so do expect that discrepancy to still remain. But overall, I do think that it is going to be a very tense team fight. Team fights we're going to be having this game, just due to the fact that everybody will be wanting to jump onto EXO. Let's see whether or not he can keep himself alive. And in terms of laning, I do think even with Ness on the Riven, it should be pretty passive, just given the nature of these champions.
Yeah, Tarzan does have a good amount of time to do some counter jungling though, so denying a lot of camps from Khalid is a key point right now. Tarzan perhaps looking for some action. In the top lane, right now do have a pause. Yikes. So hopefully that technical error does get resolved as quickly as possible. And you know, the thing about Sejuani in the jungle, and the reason why I think a lot of GPL teams have been picking her up, is the fact that she just has amazing clear time. That Flare of the Northern Rings, you can just clear out the camps.
It's pretty ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, look at what happened in this game. Just go into an enemy jungle, clear out the camps as well. Just very surprised that Tarzan didn't choose to go for the Poacher's Knife. Yeah, I have faith in that upgrade. One day we'll see it.
You are a man of faith, Chris, because
I am
not many people, you know, not many people actually go with that item. I think definitely there are some champions that, surprisingly, you know, Nunu, yet another one of those frosty champions, you would really think suit them very well, just given especially how immense the new respawn timers are on this new jungle. Yep. I think definitely counter jungling can be very crippling. Why not just, you know, really put an extra nail into that coffin? But we'll have to see. Maybe the GPL team. Okay. So he's going to be quite sad to discover it's just the baby Krug. What's that? Kruglet?
Kruglet.
Is that a Krug? I don't even know what it's called,
I don't know, man. It's like... It kind of reminds me of an omelet.
Rocky omelet, man. Yeah. Maybe that's what Rek'Sai eats, and that's why she's in a bad mood. Like, damn it.
Mystery solved on game number 3.
All I eat for breakfast is Kruglets. They suck. So, once again, yet another ironic situation. Junglers sitting on top of wards. So, yeah, looks like we're going to have pretty slow laning phases. Hope our audience can just hang in there because, like I said, I really do think the team fights will be extremely explosive. And, you know, this is the calm before the storm, Chris. You know, get as much gold as safely as you can because once things start getting crazy, it's all about grouping up and not getting picked off. Ooh, Tyr here. Grabs Noelle.
Yep. That sentence onto Tyr. First tag off Silver Falls to Tyr though. And here comes Khalid on the back of Quick Splash onto Tyr as well. Is he going to get the kill though? EXO looking for the combo. And B1 on the background does get first blood. Double teleport now from both the top layers. That sentence comes around. B1 now secures the double kill. Does go down to TG on the back end. And we do see Ness picking up the kill onto Noelle as well. Is he going to take it? Pretty greedy play from TG. He's going to go down. The double kill now goes over to Ness. And Mineski biting off than what they can chew.
Oh man, I really have to say, huge play by B1 right there. Wow, okay, so still having a bunch of difficulty with whatever the issue is, but nevertheless, let's get back to what just happened. B1, what a manly play to stay so long to continue threading in auto attacks and mystic shots onto Kulit to the point where the Dark Passage had expired.
Okay.
I think the enemy team just weren't expecting that because the exhaust came down rather late, you know?
Yep, exactly.
Really late, you have to say. So, taking the enemy by surprise. manages to almost escape by using his flash towards the tower. 2 teleports down. Now, the real kicker in this is that double kill for Ness will mean that all the early pressure that Mineski were trying to exert to kind of give TG that breathing room against, you know, what is a more carry-orientated top laner in Riven, you don't have that anymore. 2-0, and he was already matching in terms of CS. It's going to be a very rough time for TG.
Yeah. Thing about Riven as well is that she is as what her sword describes.
A broken blade.
Yeah, she's broken.
Wow.
Get a couple of kills on her, and she's
Man,
just gonna.
did not see that. I'm sorry. I'm a bit slow, a bit slow today, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, whenever I watch Phat Ultimate play as a team, I always wonder the same team. There's B1, right? Where's B2?
Where's B3?
Yeah. You know, bananas in pajamas.
And I mean, I do. Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Delightful cartoon.
B2? Yeah. It's like, you know, I retired as a kids show.
Yeah.
You know, main character, and right now I'm playing League of Legends.
That's the perfect resume for you right there. You know, I want to join your professional gaming organization because
I'm a banana. B1 should be playing Soraka right now. I'm not sure why he's
80 Soraka is a thing, man. Yeah. It's a bad thing, but it is a thing.
But so wait.
Yeah.
Think of it now. Phat Ultimate does have a couple of, you know, kids show guys.
They do?
Yeah, Tarzan as well. I mean,
Lucifer though, I mean.
Yeah, well,
that's far from, you know, kids show right there.
Yeah, that's a devil's play right there.
Yeah, man. But you know, some serious time is going to be coming at Mineski. In you know, not kids play at all. 2-0 on Riven. We talked about that. B1 as well. First back going to be picking up the Muramana. So wow.
Not going for the Triforce build. Instead,
Yeah.
going to go deep on the blue build as well. And it's also one of the builds that we have seen a lot of resurgence. Yeah, really made popular by TPABB back in the day.
Sure.
And we started to see it come up for a short while when Muramana was a pretty broken item.
Super broken.
Yeah. So I mean, current stage of day is still very effective, but balanced out quite a fair amount as well. So in that sense.
Yeah, but you know, the balancing point, Chris, was really when the tier stacking mechanism changed.
Yeah.
But once you have the Muramana in your inventory, all you have to do is auto attack as well. So Ezreal is really, you know, you have to say, I think it's fair to say, has already hit a power spike right here, just circumventing that whole stacking mechanism through spamming your spells. Auto attacks alone will be helping to stack that up. And I mean, this is what we talked about. EXO, yes, it's only, you know, 1 death so far. It's only 1 death so far, but this is what we're talking about. When that carry starts to have a little bit of a rough start, it doesn't spell out, you know, good times for you as the game goes on. We'll have to see as well, because Ness 2-0, I think, will be building up to that point where he can just jump in there, trade 1 for 1, and then you got 2 carries to 1.
Right, I've just been informed that currently some of the players are facing a bit of a connectivity issues.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get back to you as soon as that's up in the air. And of course, we got a bit more time to talk about both teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? Since we do have a bit of a downtime and we're not too certain when that's gonna be resolved, we are gonna go for a short break. And when, you know, we get the pause, we will be coming right back after this.
Wow, banana.
Hey man, thanks for coming.
Hey,
really appreciate it.
Good luck, huh? Good luck.
See you around, man.
Congratulations.
What's that?
Isn't he your friend?
Love you.
So good to see you. Bye.
Bitch.
Wow, banana.
Wow, banana.
Hey, what's your major, by the way?
Nursing.
Nursing?
Yeah.
Is that even a degree? Who does that?
Hey, just here for my blood.
Alright, so a quick video game. Sorry, what am I saying?
Video Gate.
Video
The new
break.
conspiracy brought to you here. And look at that.
Top lane. Tarzan's gonna go in onto TG. Will they secure the kill onto the old ancient tree? They're still chasing down on Broken Wings, Broken Lives. Tarzan's gonna pick up the kill.
That's right. Broken lives indeed. TG will need to go for some counseling very, very shortly. 1, 2, and 0. And going up against the first Riven seed in the GPL Spring Season 2015. Not having a good time of it whatsoever. And, you know, this is really something that I think really speaks to Ultimate, or rather, again, only the first game of a best of 2. But it would be a nice way to exit group stage, given how this is the last week they're playing. To bring out, you know, bust out this champion, a carry champion in the top lane, and say, this is something you guys need to watch out for. You know.
And I mean, for this guys, they have pretty much nothing to lose as well. You know, they are securely, you know, placed at the top of the group stages, so no pressure for them because right now it's gonna be on Mineski to really perform. But so far, 9 minutes into this one doesn't look to go their way. So they need to pull up the socks fast if they want to, I think, get a chance to exit group stages.
Right.
Oh, died the bottom lane, and
man.
thinking about pulling out their socks. Bottom lane got it going on, and Tyr is gonna try to run away from this. Where's the third
One more
tag?
combo.
Oh, there
Got
we
him.
go. The double kill onto Exo. Tarzan in a follow combo. This might be the triple coming through from Exo. They're gonna chase in though. One last auto attack not landing onto Tarzan though, but very good kills coming through from Mineski bottom lane.
I said those are the kills that Mineski absolutely needs to still keep their foot in this game. Looked like he was sliding away a little bit after, you know, 2 kills onto the 2 carries of Riven, as well as Ezreal happened in that pass engagement. But now 2 kills onto the hyper carry of Vayne will mean Exo will be feeling like he's gotten back into this game. But oh, and the top side. Oh my goodness, brutal. Oh no.
Gonna get sliced and cut like the tree he is this time around.
Yeah, a little bit of an early release by Ness right there. I think he might actually have been able to take down TG, but unfortunately zones him away from CS, and I think this is something that's really undervalued by a lot of players. Solo queue, competitive otherwise. You know, if you shove a person out of a lane and you deny them 15 CS, you've effectively denied them a kill. 15 CS is roughly 1 kill. So just denying CS, you know, pretty much denying a kill. Really, really good.
Right, thank you for the tips, and of course,
Right.
start of the rank 5 this season as well, so hope everyone's taking notes at home.
Right. Oh, you try-hard peeps. Remember, 15 CS. 15 CS.
15 CS is 1 kill, and
Roughly, that's right. Uh-oh, Lucifer here. Oh, doesn't manage to actually dodge. As it's a lot of action happening in the mid lane, but...
oh, here we go now. The ultimate coming through from Tarzan as well. Are they going to secure the kill off Noah? But looks like Yume is going to be the one that's going to be focused down here as well. And Tarzan with the block, body block. I think he wanted to deny the flash from Yume, it seems, as Unfought Ultimate wasting no time whatsoever, just grouping straight up into the mid lane, a 5-man stack as well. Let's see what they choose to do. I believe this should be the Dragon objective going over to the Ultimate squad.
Yeah, Ultimate, if you recall, I think it was last week when we had them as our featured team. They really, really have a very high percentage on their Dragon control. I think it's something like 80 plus, you know, something insane like that. Again, this is a team in the GPL that has, you know, got the wards down, as our observer showing us as well. Just really, really, you have to say, standard but solid basics coming in from them. You know, push out mid, head to Dragon, yes, but get deep wards while you're doing it, right? And I think this is one of the reasons why they're sitting at the top of the table, because they could easily have just gone mid and go for the Dragon, but if you don't ward up, there's that risk that it gets turned on you. With the wards up, there is no risk. So really, really nicely played by Team Ultimate.
Yeah, exactly, and we said at the start of the game as well, they're not a flashy team with, you know, players looking for the MVP status or something like that. They just work together so well as a team, and If you look at what happened in the mid lane as well, the moment they got that few kills and they shove up the lane, all 5 members simultaneously walk towards the dragon. That shows the sort of coordination this team has as a whole.
Yeah, and I think that's again the crazy thing that other teams must take note of is how quickly you collapse as a team, because I think this is something that, you know, with a little more experience we have in the local scene, I think it's safe to bring this up. Local teams such as, you know, Insidious Gaming Legends that have been themselves in the GPL, you know, are no newcomers, have been around for about 2 splits or so. Sometimes they fail to collapse, and they're not the only team that fails to collapse and really strike fear, you know, in the hearts of enemies. Say, this is a whole squad of 5, and again, this is one of the reasons why I think Ultimate is right at the top of the table. Yes, they dropped one set over to SF5, but you can see they really play as a unit of 5, and that is a scary thing.
Yep. And
3 towers down, just like that.
Yeah, wasting no time whatsoever, making sure that they accelerate the laning phase to ensure that Vayne has no time to work with whatsoever. TG now gonna try to slow Ness down for a bit, and here comes Khalid, and quick fingers on that flash and the broken wings. Ness staring back into the wall. Oh, he's gonna go in for the ultimate as well. Oh, Ness, you got too greedy there, my friend.
Action on the other side, actually, of the map.
Yeah, we got Noah going down. Here comes the kill from the right of the arcane down.
Wow, nice.
Raining down onto Exo to secure the kill as well. So, a little bit of distraction technique from Ness, but he should have just walked out of there. No idea why he decided to come back in.
That was, you know, you talk about how none of them really like to be flashy. I think with this Riven pick,
for once, you know, it's like, I'm trying to flex my biceps a little bit, but
yeah, I think, you know, when you play the Riven, first time ever seen in the GPL, gotta flex those muscles a little bit. Oh wow!
Yeah, Lucifer's gonna flash.
Force the flash.
Force the flash from Yume, in fact, and Run of the Cane was used down the bomb lane, but if that was left up, I would say Yume was just gone down there.
Yeah, it was still a very nice snipe by Lucifer nonetheless. Picked that one off with just 1 charge, if I'm not wrong. And look at that. I mean, we just saw Pink Ward being taken out by Noel and EXO, and that really showed that they're not going to give any breathing room to EXO whatsoever. You know, every time they jump on him, somebody's going to have a Pink Ward, for sure.
Yeah, and we're talking about Unfat Ultimate overall as a team, that they're one of those teams that are very objective orientated, so it's almost like clockwork to see them work. They will take a couple of kills in or force someone away from the turret and then take the objective off of their opposition team, and it's just a beauty to watch them play whenever.
That's right. It really is, and the team fights so far have been explosive. Well, I mean, not really like full-on team fights, but you can see these are champions that once the farming phase is done, it's really good in the action. I think Ness is feeling that somewhat, has gone aggressive multiple times onto TG. Kulit, we just saw 2v1 even. And I don't think the pressure is going to stop, because for Team Ultimate, they know if they ever let up on the pressure, if they ever let EXO, you know, get back into the game, like 2 kills in the bottom like that, this is a nice move by Team Ultimate to say, all right, 2 kills went over to Vayne. You know what we should do? Kill him.
Yeah, and if they can keep up this sort of aggression down onto Mineski, it's going to be quite hard for them to try to farm their way back in this one, because all the outer turrets are in fact down on the side of Mineski Globe, so they would have to make a longer distance back into safety if they need to, so I think Ultimate has done a relatively good job. And Mineski here will be looking to, in fact, stall out the game, because it's only at the 16-minute mark, but they are down by about 6,000 gold. So if they can weather the storm, if somehow they can just stall out the game for about 10 to 15 minutes, let EXO hit a couple of items, they might have a chance, better chance of coming back to this game. Right of the Arcane in the mid lane, I believe, was used to try to snipe down Yume, as you can see that blinking red health bar. And when we're looking at Tarzan just pushing on his own down the bomb lane.
Look at, I mean, that wave clear is, again, very undervalued. You talk about clear in the jungle, but wave clear in lanes as well, just wave management, something that is really the, you know, the hidden, or you want to say the latent strength of a lot of teams, just managing minions, the 6th member of your team, if you will. Tarzan on his Sejuani, or just Sejuani in general, has that strength to really clear waves very, very quickly. Wants all the lanes shoving as Dragon is respawning in about a minute or so. Has taken a few tower shots, so that's some unnecessary damage, but you know, just playing the board the way you should, right in your enemy's face.
Yeah, and Tarzan's gonna be there to just be that meat shield.
I mean, Mineski gave this for free.
Yeah, no challenge whatsoever.
Really wasn't a fast push even, you know, they were there for a good minute or so. Mineski just Zero reply. Oh,
Alright,
man.
here we go. Talking about flashing space. Exo's gonna try to run out there.
Oh,
But got
man.
deleted straight out by Ness, and we're talking about a Riven who was 2-1 and before this, and here we go now. Here on the front lines, and B1 though in a bit of trouble in the back lines. Very nice dark passage, but TG's gonna be the one to secure the kill. A flash over the wall is top laner for Mineski, but getting sniped in by Lucifer, pinpoint accuracy, and one more death sentence onto Yume again. He's gonna get sniped off. Hazen is gonna be the one that picks up the kill. Lucifer, I don't think he's going to chase him to Noir, or will they? Because they still have a lot of cover on their own end. Way in,
my goodness.
no turrets to protect them whatsoever. Up in the top there as well, Ness taking up the second tier, top tier turret. Just a whole bunch of advantages going over to the Alpha Ultimate squad. And look at that ghost fight. Before that team fight itself, they were only out by about 6,000 gold, and it's accelerated to 10,000 gold.
It's like only again. Only 6,000.
Yeah, you know what? Just only 6,000 gold.
But yeah, 10,000, huge difference right there. And I think Ness really, like you said, flexing his biceps right there. Just absolutely crush onto EXO. And really important right there. What EXO was trying to do was count out, the animations for the broken wings. But as I'm sure many of our audience members are aware of, but I'll just say it anyways, there is a lot of animation canceling you can do with Riven. And Ness did that to make sure that he closed the distance on EXO, far faster than I think EXO, should have been a lot more respectful of the Riven animation canceling. But really wasn't, and Ness deleted him.
You know what, Flavors? I'm just gonna thank the solo queue players in advance. Thank you for reintroducing Riven to the solo queue.
Oh man,
see solo queue. Everyone's like, oh, look at that!
Riven's OP, man.
Riven's OP. I gotta play Riven, and then like,
oh gosh, yeah, it's crazy. It's like when you look at some of the stats and you see like, dude, Riven's OP, man.
4-1-1.
Looking good.
Well, I gotta admit, I do have some of those tendencies as well. When I watch some of the other pro leagues like LCS, even the first time when I saw Gragas in the top lane played by the Vietnamese team, I was like, oh, you know what? It looks pretty good. I'm gonna try it.
Oh, man.
And speaking about looking good, PG not looking so well though. He's gonna get evaporated. Hazen's gonna be the one that picks up the kill.
Yikes.
After the second tier turret gets taken down as well. That's 6 turrets on Phat Ultimate at the 20-minute stage.
I feel a little bit sad because I have to say, admittedly, I thought that when it came to team fights, it would really be this like, pinpoint moment where does EXO get jumped on or not. But it's really anticlimactic. He's just getting picked off on the side by Ness. I mean, for Ness, it's probably going to feel great. But I think, full 5-on-5, EXO really has to watch it. It's not once, it's not twice. Once, maybe it's like, alright, bro, you haven't seen Riven in like, who knows how many years or seasons. But twice? Come on, man. You are literally the heart of the, and the damage of the team.
He's calling you for some
Flash and heal and Blade of the Ruined King.
Oh, Ness. Gonna flash out though.
Ness. Oh my goodness.
Oh! We saw that on camera.
Oh,
it's
just
on record.
Oh man.
PG now once again finding himself in a 1v4 situation.
They expended 3 members top. 2 summoners from Vayne as well as the Exit. Didn't get anything for it. Might be looking to catch B1 here.
Wow, nice knockup though coming through from Khalid. Finally getting a kill for himself, but he's gonna get spited down and Lucifer's gonna get the finishing touches onto that kill. There's Yume looking to collapse down onto the Alpha Ultimate. And one more snipe coming through from Lucifer. Run off your king. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, not gonna land though. Not enough damage.
Dive.
You just want him to go all in, right?
Oh, take a look at this though. Ness has picked up the distortion enchantment on his boots, which I really love. I mean, even though we're not seeing it, so much in effect, the point of that really is that, again, if you think about how if the game was, oh man, wow.
Oh wow, that was a surrender.
Okay then.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, they know for a fact that the window has kind of closed down onto them.
Yeah.
Yeah, decided to
save their stamina for game number 2, maybe.
Yeah, and in fact, it's a pretty legit strategy. Happens a lot in Korea and China, to say the least. Whenever they play the best of 2, it's like, all right, you know what? The first game is already a lost cause. Let's move on to the next one. And once again, just Phat Ultimate playing a solid game.
Yeah, you could see even though they were way ahead in terms of, well, I wouldn't say way ahead in terms of